Citizens of Craftocracy, it is me, Pentagonal, your current president and the incumbent leader of Reform Minecraft. Our first term has had many successes, and I can't even name a failure we had. We have passed all of our bills so far, including the impeachment, which was technically a reform vote originally. And I believe we are doing a great job so far in this term. We have brought so many new people to the server under my leadership. We have had so much new activities. We've had court for the first time. We should be having a question period like next election cycle afterwards, which is going to be really awesome for the health of the server. And best of all, we are coordinating events for more dialogue between party leaders and party members in general. I believe that the upcoming question period will be really healthy for the server after the election because we can like talk about the bills before the legislative meeting even is considered of, or we can just ask questions in general. So I am looking forward to that, and I'm remembering you because hopefully you are too. But back to the topic at hand here. Reform MC, we've been doing a wonderful job in our first term, and I believe it's time to secure a second. We are running for the presidency of Strudel once more, and so far I don't think I have any competition in my primary. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't check that last minute, but I believe we are in a really big advantage state so far for running for presidency once again. But it's not going to be an easy campaign season. I wish it was, but it's not going to be much easier than last one. Now, the biggest goals of reform is recapturing or capturing new votes. We have new people in the server, and many veterans, either changing allegiances or staying on the same. So, we need to focus on the main problem here. We need to work together as a server. Because so far, we've been doing a wonderful job at that. I don't think we've had many... Well, that's wrong. We've had some party beefs, but we've been willing to work on it. We've been willing to solve shit, and I'm exactly calling out the APC for the constant prank wars. I think that's kind of getting old. But, you know, we have to work together as a server, and work for the common agreement of what's right and wrong. And I believe we've been doing a great job at that. We've passed many bills. We've passed bills which strengthen our server democracy, which take the power away from the people trying to be in charge and give back to the people. So we have plenty of good bills which are making the server a much healthier place. And I am really thankful for my party and everyone who voted me, and everyone who didn't vote me, because as a democracy, we need more dialogue. After the next election cycle, I will hopefully, finally, schedule a second ever leaders meeting, because that is what we really need right now. The server has been polarized for the longest time, and I believe we're actually seeing the light at the end of a tunnel, and we are working to greater good. This doesn't mean that disagreements will not happen. Quite the opposite. All the parties right now seem to be really different from each other, with many different positions and many different goals. Working together 100% is basically impossible, but we can try our best to ensure that the democracy is strong, and for the people, not the people seeking ultimate power, because, you know, my party has always been primary-based. I've been primary-based before primaries were forced to larger parties, and I am proud to admit that. But with more primaries comes more contenders, more people willing to take the spot. This is healthy for the server, but will remain a challenge for people like me, who have had long-standing influence in the political sphere. And I am all for this. We get new voices, new ideas, whether from a different party, or a new party, or an old party. This is the best thing to happen to the server, and it all happened under Reform leadership. You know, I don't want to brag about my accomplishments, because the server had many accomplishments over my term and the last term. For example, the APC has been passing many bills, respectfully. Some of the bills, I kind of had something to say in it, but they've been still working hard on their side of the political spectrum. I also want to give my appreciation to the SSI. The SSI, we've kind of had a rocky relationship, especially in opposition scenarios, but the SSI is a very healthy and strong party, and I'm really glad they're here with us today, because without them, the server will not be the same. Having the SSI here is really healthy for dialogue and disagreements, and just coming up to common conclusions, because we are basically on the opposite side of the craftocratic spectrum. Not like we have one anyways, but just pretend there is. But when we work together, we can all come up with things which make the server great again. And unfortunately, I don't think anyone can use that term anymore, because the server is already great! And I'm not gonna campaign on the other party leaders or the other candidates making the server worse. I will not campaign on that, because I think no matter who wins, the server is in the healthiest position it's ever been. I am running for re-election on my way of doing reforms, because I did so much, but I believe I can do more. I don't know if we will have a second legislative meeting before the election or before the debate. If there is, I can throw out my last final punches to make the server a much more awesome place, and I am calling on other parties to help do the same, basically, because the server is not just reform. The server is all of us, and we need to unite under one banner to get shit done. And that can be difficult when everyone has different goals, but I believe reform has always been excellent in dialogue. We've had friendly and not so friendly conversations with other parties, but we are willing to stand our ground when we believe it's necessary. And I believe that if we all work together, the server is going to stay great. I'd like to thank the APC for being a strong contender from the very start, for helping the server balance democracy. I'd like to thank the SSI for making the server more entertaining and enjoyable, for always pulling their weight and making the server a much more diverse place with many different opinions, which makes the democracy more healthy. And I would like to thank the newly formed MSR. They're actually gaining a lot of traction recently, and they haven't participated in a lot of events so far, but I think they did two, so they are new players doing a really good job at participating in the server events, and I am really excited to talk with all party leaders after the next term. One more thing I will say before I wrap up this very funny speech. This campaign season will be tricky, but it's gonna be fucking awesome. If we can get all the candidates to agree to have many rallies, many content uploads for the YouTube channel, and just many events and conversations as possible, this may be the most entertaining election season of Strudel. And I really hope it is, because we have 4 parties throwing their hat in the ring. We really need some entertainment for the channel. Because if we can get many content uploaded on the main channel, we can increase the craftocratic algorithm on YouTube, which means people may be looking for a Minecraft server, or in some circumstances, looking for a Minecraft server with democracy. We could easily get some gains. And you know, I am a master of gains. We've had many gains, but I think what the server needs to gain most is we need unity. And we've been achieving it, actually. We've been achieving unity so much. We barely fight. We do have the occasional disagreement and the occasional mishap, like the APC prank core, which I believe is kind of stupid. But we've had many agreements. Of course, still disagreements, but this is a democracy. We are the closest we've ever been together since the start of the server. I don't want to see the candidates campaigning on the server being ununited. That is blatantly false. I also don't want to see them campaigning on the server not being great. That is blatantly false. No matter if you're on my side or not, you have to agree here. The server is in a healthy spot. We're getting new members from everywhere else. We have 4 parties, each distinct from each other. We've never really had distinct parties before. I don't want to call out names, but when he had 6 parties, a lot of them kind of felt the same. You know, you had APC Reform. Back then, they're basically the same party. You had the other parties, which weren't really different in any mean way. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying when parties aren't distinct, they kind of just split votes. So that's why mergers happened. And as you know, Reform is way different from the APC now, because, well, we've kind of like to put some extra punch in the policy. But I believe that the server is in a really healthy state. And I am glad that it is, because this was not a singular person's effort, this was a server effort. I am proud of everyone here. I am proud of everyone, no matter what allegiance you're on, because without healthy democracy, where would we be today? I don't think many of us unironically hate each other. I know we've had many beefs, but so far the server has been really healthy in that. So, yes, I am running for a second term, and I hope next election cycle will be much more entertaining for server content on the YouTube channel. But I also call all leaders, all candidates, and even myself, let's have this be a respectful cycle. Yes, we will campaign against each other, because that's what democracy is. But we need to fucking work together, and we need to do this properly. Because as a democracy, we can't just shy away from pushing out what we believe in. We need everyone to pull all their weight, and what they believe, what direction they believe the service should be going in, should be the thing they campaign on. I've got my direction, and I'm pretty sure the other candidates have theirs. I believe we can pull off the most entertaining election campaign in strudel history. I kind of worded that wrongly. I didn't mean I meant like the entire server, like combined. It's a combined effort because 4 parties. This is gonna be really entertaining. Last campaign, last election cycle, we've had some beef. You know, as you may know, it wasn't so nice. All parties were throwing punches non-stop. And while I do believe that political attacks are warranted, I do agree that we shouldn't be given personal attacks and we should be more professional. And I'm pretty sure it's what everyone is going to be doing this election cycle, because the server is becoming so close together. We've been having so much conversations, so much activities together. I believe this will, I believe unity is a non-issue. We are already united. We are already great. The only question is who will take the torch? Who will lead Strudel next? And I am running again, but I want people to vote on merit. We have debates. We campaign a lot. And one thing I've always said from the very start is we need people to put their pitchforks down, put their biases aside, and look at the policy. The moment the server goes into political warfare, like the second and third election, where it's party v party, everything crumbles. We need parties to prioritize themselves, but they can still have second choices. They can still vote their way, even if they don't want to vote for their own party. I'm just saying, is we should stop demanding our party who should vote, and we should start demanding why we should vote. We need people to vote on the best candidate possible. We need people to not be upset when somebody votes outside of their party, and best of all, we need people to vote based on what they see, what they hear, and what they think. Because I believe if you can all unite under one banner, which we already have, but if you can remain that unity strong, I believe the server could grow exponentially, and it's only going to get funner from here. Last thing I'll say is APC, maybe don't put like 8 million silverfish in SSI base, thank you. Yeah, okay, so I am going to be running as hard as I can to get a second term, because I have my own vision for the future of the server, but I know the other parties have their own. We need to have constant dialogue, and that's why question period will be so important. I can't wait to have a question period. I'm pretty sure it's going to be after the election, but it's going to increase dialogue, and it's going to give everyone a chance. Something I will work on in the server, which I already did a great job on, by the way, in before I took office, was making the political roleplay of the server more accessible and more enjoyable. As you saw with Court, you had plenty of people who weren't even party leaders, who were just regular party members participating in this activity. And yes, I know that party leaders are prohibited, but, well, more activities to the people. I don't really give a shit. A question period. Everyone gets a voice. You get called on, you ask a question, boom. It's gonna be really healthy, and my next term will rely mainly on adding more depth to the server, the activities, the mods, how the server runs, and most importantly, political reform to give everyone a voice. I am Pentagonal, current president and leader of Reform Minecraft. Thank you for coming to my speech. The two people over there, a shout out to General
Eat my
DMC and the Golden
dust!
Gem. I love dust! Nom nom nom. 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 Nom nom nom.
Why is he NOMING?
Splendid! Nom nom nom. Nom nom nom. This is really scrumptious. Nom nom nom. Nom nom nom. How much dirt do you have?
I have more if you want.
Okay, server, that is all. I am really glad of the state of the server, and I believe we are in the best position we've ever been in. And the only way to go right now is up. I believe no matter who wins, the server could still go upwards, but that doesn't mean we have to agree with each other and everything. Because we have a strong democracy, let's make it stronger. Thank you. Goodbye.